Hello again, whiskey friends. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me for today's tasting. I am pretty excited to get into this one. I haven't had it in a while, so it's been a few months, so I am excited to get back into this one. This is going to be the Bunnahabhain 12-year Scotch whiskey coming out of Islay. And honestly, I think this is the perfect introductory Scotch for a bourbon drinker. Now, I'll break it down, I'll walk through it, I'll try to describe why I think that. But when people ask me like, hey, I'm trying to get into Scotch, what should I drink? This is actually the one I point them to. But let's go through a proper tasting, let's break it down, let's have some fun. Thanks for joining, everybody. Let's kick off the show. All right, so here's our bottle here, the Bunnahabhain. Gonna pop this open, pour this into my fancy Scotch Test Dummies Glen. Cheers to the OGs. Oh, yeah, look at that sexy Glen. Yeah, and look at that sexy color too. So the one thing about this one is this is non-chilled filtered, and that is natural coloring right there. So they don't add any color to that. So it's just got that lovely gold color. And as I said, this is 12 years old. Proof on this one is 46.3%. So proof would be about what? Oh, I'm doing math on the fly. 92.6. Hopefully I got that right. So we got 12 years old, Islay Scotch as well, not peaty. I think that's the other thing about this one. I know it's Islay, that can scare some people off. I would not describe this one as peaty. Still has some other characteristics that go with the Islay, but not the peat. I do have a peat version back there that is actually pretty good as well. But for today, we'll just break down the 12-year, and first we'll go into the nose and then break down the taste. Cheers, whiskey friends. Oh, yeah. See, I think what I love about this one so much is, I'm pretty sure this was aged in ex-bourbon casks. Let me know in the chat here if I'm correct on that one. But I'm going to go with ex-bourbon casks, and I think those flavors translate if I'm right. So it's just a lovely sea salt, the outer skin of a soft pretzel, some nice caramel reduction. And then we can go into the fruits. Now, the fruits for me get interesting on this one. It's the type of thing that I can't bring to a bourbon typically. I would almost describe them as dried apricots or some dried fruit in a bag that you're getting. I'm pretty sure apricots, though, is the one I want to go with. Maybe it's a little darker than that. Not quite to raisins, though. But something in this, like, dried fruit area. Man, and those fruits. I mean, there's a little bit of floral there, but it's the dried fruits, man. Dried apricots, dried raisins. You could even go trail mix on this. There is a hint of nuttiness, almost even a walnut type of a nut. So not like a dark peanut or something like that, but a walnut, not quite an almond. But if you put that all together with the pretzel, the salt, the dried fruit, and now you add the nuts in, it's almost like a trail mix. But a trail mix with mostly dried fruit. Oh man, it's just a lovely, lovely nose. The one thing I always say, Scotch is relaxing. Like when I smell a Scotch, it's just relaxing. Like my soul the tension in my shoulders comes out compared to just the bourbon where it's all intense and fruit or not fruit, but desserts. No, this is just relaxing. All right, let's break down the taste. Yeah. One thing that sticks out to me on this one, man, the mouthfeel is so rich and viscous. It's just a lovely experience in and of itself, just to let it run down your tongue. The first thing I got off the bat was just a very rich, but somewhat subtle vanilla. Now, mid-palate, things start escalating, and then we'll break down the finish here. So let's go in for another sip. Yeah, up front again, vanilla, floral. We go into the mid-palate. Gosh, how do I want to describe that? There's a waxiness to it. I wouldn't go as far as, say, a Twizzler or something like that, combining it with the fruit. But there's this interesting wax. Almost reminds me of that like classic candy parlor, like candy and like the generic bags where you'd have the wax, soda bottles with the syrup in the middle. There's something about that taste that's hitting me mid-palate. Yeah, and then some of what was on the nose comes through as well. Really towards the finish too. The whole trail mix motif thing doesn't quite hold as well as I thought it did on the nose. The dried fruit aspect was really on the nose, but it doesn't necessarily translate fully to the palate, at least to the degree that it was on the nose. But I would say that outer shell, the pretzel, little saltiness, the caramel, that I'm getting, but it is in the background to that waxy candy parlor, candy. All right, I'm going to go in for one last sip. Oh, yeah. Just got some lovely grain notes on that one. On the finish, too. Gosh, beyond that vanilla, man, there's this like little hint of a milk chocolate. Gosh, even combined with the vanilla, it kind of gives me a cookies and cream Hershey bar vibe, but it's not that sweet. So if you took away some of the sugar out of that, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting on the back end. Gosh, do I love this. Love this pour. The one thing that I hope I can get my hands on here is there's a cast strength version of this. So this is just 46.3, but man, a cast strength version of this, I bet you that would be even more amazing. So if you're looking to explore Scotch, this is, I think, a really good one to jump into and see if you like it. I think a lot of the flavors will translate to you, but then it'll also help you get used to that single malt flavor underneath it all as well. So I really can't recommend this one enough. Price-wise, gosh, I want to say I paid $55 to $60. That was a while ago, though. I'm still quite sure the prices are still right around there. So once again, great value for that money. So the Bunnahabhain 12 year, yeah, that gets a recommend for me. Man, it probably is my go-to Scotch. Maybe not my favorite Scotch, but my go-to Scotch. All right. Well, thanks for joining Whiskey Friends on another tasting here. And guess what? There's going to be more of them soon. I'll see you later, Whiskey Friends. Be sure to come back. Bye, everybody.